listening to the Agent Survival Guide podcast, a podcast for today's insurance agents. Informing, educating, empowering, improving the way you do business in an industry that's anything but static. In today's episode, are you looking for tried and true methods for closing insurance sales? We've got you covered with 4 effective techniques for closing insurance sales, written by Isabel Vitale. You've made your pitch. Now to see if it's a hit or a miss and close the insurance sale. Maybe you say something along the lines of, "So, would you like to sign up for this plan?" Your client's eyes shift. No, not today, they respond as they push their chair back. You think to yourself, maybe there was a better way to seal the deal. Closing the sale can be difficult. You want to come across as confident and knowledgeable, but not pushy like a stereotypical car salesperson. Knowing how to utilize effective insurance sales closing techniques can help you strike the right balance and secure more clients and commissions. Before we dive into specific insurance selling strategies to close the deal, there are strategies to implement before you try to sell a policy. Let's talk about the foundation you need to build first. Ever wonder why that stereotypical car salesperson gets a bad rap? It's because they don't have the time to build that foundation of a relationship first. Of course, you want to sell insurance policies. That's your career, your way of making a living. But that endeavor becomes a lot easier, more natural, meaningful, and fruitful if you form relationships with your clients before asking them to sign on the dotted line. To effectively close a sale, your relationship must be built on 3 pillars: trust, interest, and identification of needs. We'll start with the first pillar, trust. No one wants to buy something from someone they don't trust. Here are some authentic ways to build trust in client relationships. Keep your facial expressions engaged and positive, and your body language open. Ask your clients questions about themselves, like their line of work, interests, family, pets, and so on. Echo back what they tell you to let them know you are actively listening. Validate their concerns, saying things like, "It makes sense you'd be concerned about rising costs." Building trust goes 2 ways. Volunteer information about yourself in return. Provide educational information above and beyond the product you want to sell. Be sure to give your clients ample amounts of your time and focus. It means a lot when you remember things about someone. In subsequent conversations, ask follow-up questions about what they previously told you, like how their grandson's baseball game went. Follow up with clients 1 month after enrollment. Perform annual reviews, and provide extra value throughout your relationship. You can do this by sending newsletters, offering classes on ancillary products, and being available for their questions. Building trust takes time, and performing these actions will improve your long-term relationship and boost chances for referrals. We said it before, and I will say it again. No one wants to buy something from someone they don't trust. However, your client's brain is wired to make snap judgments about your trustworthiness. So set yourself up for long-term trust building by encouraging a positive first impression. There are several ways to make a good first impression. Be likable and approachable. Have a positive, confident, and helpful attitude. Actively engage the other person. Remember to focus and ask open-ended questions. In building rapport with anyone, it's essential to find something in common. Don't forget to relax your body language either. If you look and sound at ease, your client will likely mirror that behavior. Moving on to the second pillar, interest. This might seem obvious, but make sure your client is interested in what you're presenting before you present it. If you're selling Medicare products and your client has filled out a scope of appointment, or SOA for short, if they've scheduled an appointment with you, you can safely assume they're interested in learning more about their Medicare options. But which options? That's where a mini pitch can come in handy. When first speaking with a lead, gauge their interest on Medicare supplements, Medicare Advantage, and Part D plans by giving brief descriptions and asking which products appeal to them the most. If they fill out an SOA, it should be easy to see what products they're interested in learning more about and which they're not. If you're selling other types of insurance products, be sure to go through the different options and ask about their interest level in each. Your client will appreciate you taking the time to find out their interests and preferences instead of bulldozing them with plan presentations that they don't want to hear. Quick mention, always be sure you follow CMS rules regarding health product appointments and non-health product appointments. You may only discuss what is on the SOA during health appointments. All other non-health products, like annuities or life insurance, must be discussed during a different follow-up meeting. Next, we'll talk about the third pillar, identify client needs. While you're listening for your client's interests and preferences, go deep on discovering what your client needs out of their insurance. Living on a fixed income? Perhaps the predictability of a MedSup premium and lower out-of-pocket costs would be the best fit. What about a fixed income, but they have a little emergency fund saved? Then perhaps the lower premiums of an MA would be appealing. Sometimes you have to go on a fact-finding mission to learn what your clients really need, especially if they're unsure of their options or not sure of what they need themselves. Introduce your fact-finding with something like, I'd like to ask you some questions to determine what you need out of your health plan. Then, ask questions about their financial situation, health conditions, providers, frequency of doctor visits, past hospital stays, prescription drugs, and how often they travel out of state. Listen closely to the answers and take notes. It's also a good idea to simply ask your client, what do you think you need? They'll feel empowered to participate, and you will gather useful information. Once you build trust and rapport, establish interest, and identify the need, you're ready to move on to a product pitch. Establishing a strong foundation with your client before trying to sell them a specific plan will help you down the road, heading off objections your client might voice during an appointment. Another important point to remember: confidence is key. To be an effective insurance salesperson, you'll want to foster a certain quality in yourself: confidence. Sit up straight, make eye contact, smile, and speak in a clear, measured voice. There is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, though, and that's why building the foundation we just described is so essential. Your confidence needs to be steeped in trust, relationship, and listening to your client. Without that, your confidence will come across as pushy. Remember, we're trying to strike that fine balance between savvy professional and aggressive salesperson. We covered the 3 pillars to create trust and connection with your client. Now, let's explore 4 ways to close the deal. Number 1, the assumptive close. Let's revisit the close used at the beginning of this episode. So, would you like to sign up for Carrier A's plan? Although it might seem considerate to phrase your request this way, It leaves the door wide open for your client to easily respond no. A simple but effective alternative to adopt is assumptive closing, assuming your client wants to continue rather than asking if they'd like to. This is a very powerful technique and pairs well or overlaps with other types of sale closes that we'll discuss in a minute. Consider using some of these assumptive close examples. Thank you for helping me see that this plan will be a good fit for you. Let's go ahead and get you signed up. I can walk you through the application now. Do you have your original Medicare card handy? How would you like to enroll? By filling out this paper app or applying online? I will guide you through either. Remember to read the room before trying an assumptive close. If your client is asking questions or saying things that lead you to believe they really aren't interested in this product, avoid this type of close for now and find a different product that resonates. If you gauged their interest well, this shouldn't be an issue, but blazing forward with an assumptive close when your client is giving you clear negative signals will not help your trustworthiness. Number 2, the modified puppy dog close. Popular among car companies, the classic puppy dog close sales technique allows buyers to test out a product before committing to a full purchase. Think car test drives. The company Carvana employs the puppy dog close especially well, delivering the vehicle you're interested in right to your door, or you can pick it up. They give you 7 full days and up to 400 miles to decide whether you want to complete the purchase. That's what I call a test drive. While insurance agents can't offer test drives of products the same way car companies can, we can employ a modified version of this closing technique, which gives your client the promise of falling in love. Try out some of these modified puppy dog close examples. Once you try this plan, you're going to love it. I'm confident this plan is a good fit for you because of all the extra perks it provides. I'm sure you're excited to test drive that prescription savings plan. But wait, stop the car. Your clients do get a test drive of certain Medicare products, namely Medicare Advantage or MA plans. Don't forget to explain and emphasize the option of the MA trial right to your clients. If you're enrolling them in a Medicare Advantage plan during AEP, don't forget they could enroll in a different MA plan or return to original Medicare during the MA open enrollment period if they're unhappy. Just make sure you're following all the rules for the MAOEP. Number 3, the alternate choice close. Who doesn't like to have options? Popular among parents and salespeople alike. With an alternate choice close or alternative choice close, you offer 2 or more choices, all of which end in a sale or outcome you like. This type of close overlaps with the assumptive close. Be careful with the choice close and avoid belittling your client with meaningless options. Don't say things like, "Do you want to sign with a blue or black pen?" The goal is to actually empower your client to participate, not give the obvious illusion of choice. Try these sales closing phrases instead. I think this Medicare supplement is going to be a good fit. Would it be easier for you to pay the premium as an annual chunk or by month? It sounds like you're interested in both this MA and hospital indemnity plan. That's great. Which application would you like to start with? I'm hearing that you like different pieces of this MA plan and Medicare supplement. Do you think you would prefer a lower monthly premium with potentially higher out-of-pocket costs, or a higher monthly premium with lower and more predictable out-of-pocket costs? After you get your answer, wrap up with an assumptive closing statement. As you can hear, these alternate choice close examples offer a range of little to big options. The second example is more about asking a client's preference for something small, like which application to start with. The third example takes more time to consider and is a bigger ask for your client. If you tend to favor the alternate choice close, especially within the same appointment, switch back and forth between the big and little choices so your client doesn't get overwhelmed by a lot of bigger decisions. Finally, number 4, the summary close. The summary close is another technique that pairs well with the assumptive close in sales. In a summary close, you succinctly recap the benefits you've discussed and follow up with an assumptive closing statement. Or you could ask for the sale if you're confident your client will say yes. Your client will like the summary close because it demonstrates that you've listened to them, identified their needs, and searched for the best fit. Remember, before you jump into the benefits of the plan you've pitched, bring up some pain points your client feels. This will make the benefits seem all the more relevant. For example, I know your current MA plan caused you a big headache during your last cross-country trip. This Medicare supplement is going to afford you so much more flexibility. You'll be able to visit any doctor that accepts Medicare and have more predictable costs. We can get started on the underwriting process today. I'll walk you through it. Paying out of pocket for your eye exams and new glasses was certainly more expensive than you expected. The dental, vision, and hearing benefits of this MA plan are going to help with that so much. Let's get the application started. It will only take about 10 minutes. You had sticker shock during your last hospital stay. This hospital indemnity plan is really going to help you out and bring those out-of-pocket costs way down. Do you have your personal information ready to get started on the application? There's no better way to learn than by example. You can view video examples of these closing techniques by visiting the blog version of this episode. We will have it linked in the episode notes for you. Remember, before you try to sell your client anything, build the foundation of a relationship first by establishing trust, gauging interest, and identifying needs. Then, with your increased confidence in these closing formulas, try out one or more to seal the deal. Pretty soon, you'll be a closing master. Not only will you have secured another sale and commission, but your client will trust that you have their best interest at heart and know what you're talking about. That could mean referrals and increased business. Here at Ritter Insurance Marketing, we know the power of intentional sales in insurance. We want to help you hone your voice and unlock your full selling potential. If you're already partnered with us, you can reach out to our sales team for more tips. If you're not a Ritter agent, you can register with us for free to receive our support, resources, and services that will help you get to yes more often. You can find all that information in the episode notes. Thank you so much for listening. We will see you next episode. The Agent Survival Guide podcast is a production of Ritter Insurance Marketing, an integrity company. This episode was written by Isabel Vitale. Script adaptation by Tina Lamoureux. Recording and production by me, Sarah Ruppel. Podcast design by Urban Rivera. Artwork by Vivian Zhao. Rate and review our show on Apple or Spotify.